up, everybody? Today we're going to go through a 3-day strength program that you can do at home. So I'll show you things that you can do with and without equipment. We're going to go ahead and get started. So starting with day 1, you're going to start with the foam roller. You're going to start with the foam roller on days 2 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, you'll be doing the same thing, okay? You'll start by foam rolling the back of the body first, starting with the calves. Calves is the muscle group of the gastroc, soleus, and then we're also thinking about the Achilles tendon where our ankle is. You can go over the roller with 2 legs at a time with your butt on the ground. You can lift your butt off the ground to get more pressure, or you can cross over 1 leg at a time. You're going to roll 10 rolls each side, and then if you find an area of tension, you can hold and breathe into that area of tension. You'll move up to your hamstrings next, same thing. Look for areas of tension, but really just going up and down about 10 times, and then going on a specific spot if you need to on each side. After that, you move to the glutes and hip rotator, so sitting on the foam roller, cross 1 leg over, and then the leg that is crossed, you're going to lean to that side and move up and down into that hip. You're going to get both sides, 10 rolls, again, looking for areas of tension. You can go side to side or up and down here. I like to go side to side as well. Next, lower back. I try not to go directly on my spine, so I lean to one side and I get one side at a time. Again, about 5 rocks forward and back, each side, and then switch, okay? After I do that, I'm going to move up my spine to my thoracic spine. So I'm from lumbar spine to thoracic. And from here, I'm going to extend and flex the spine around the roller. Now, if that's not ideal for you, you can also just go side to side across the mid and upper back on the lats and on the T-spine here. Then we'll move to the posterior deltoid and we'll get behind back in here. You'll get both sides, 10 rolls. After that, we'll move to the adductors, going from the knee all the way to the hip bone, 3 different areas, all the way in the adductor range, both sides of the body, 10 rolls, okay? So you'll take about 5 to 10 minutes to roll the entire body. Next thing we're gonna do is some breathing. If you have a box, you can put your feet on top of a box. If you have the roller or a mat, you can put that in between your knees to create a little bit more tension. And just with your knees bent about 90 degrees, we're going to place our palms face down. We'll perform 10 inhales and 10 exhales. This is really just going to focus on aligning our ribs and pelvis. We're going to start with a flat back into the ground, squeezing the roller if that's available. If not, just press those feet into the ground. We're going to bring our head down, inhale 360, inhale to the front of our spine, behind our spine, into the sides of our spine, 360. And then on your exhale, like you're blowing up a balloon, as hard as you can, try to touch your breath to the sky. So it'll look like this. Inhale, 360. Try to exhale for 5 to 10 seconds. So trying to get long, piercing exhales. And if you do have a balloon, you can use a balloon here. You'll do 10 inhales and 10 exhales there to start. That's going to really help position the ribs and pelvis, which will give you a little bit more range in the hips and shoulders. Next, we're going to stretch the hips, going into our hip flexor stretch. So if you have a pad or a wedge, what you're going to do is set up in the half kneeling position. Okay, this is going to be for day 1, and then day 2, we're going to have different stretches, and day 3 we'll have different stretches. So day 1, the first stretch you're going to perform is the half kneeling hip flexor stretch. Starting in that half kneeling position, position the ribs and spine, so you don't want to be like this. And you don't want to be like this, so stack the shoulders over the hips. Nice 360 inhale and exhale. You're going to do 3 inhales. And on your exhale, the whole body shifts forward and you're stretching out that back hip flexor. So inhale, rock up. Exhale, pull yourself into that stretch, okay? Same thing on the other side. You're going to tuck the back toe. So it's in dorsiflexion the whole time. You're not pointing the back toe. We want to make sure that we're thinking about that big toe in extension because it doesn't get it that often. So we're in that running position. That's why we like the stretch. And we're stretching the back hip flexor, which is really important because they get really short from sitting a lot. The next stretch is a hip rotator stretch. Okay, this is just going to be like a basic pigeon pose. So we're going to cross the leg in front, slide the back leg into the ground, and hold and breathe. Inhale, 360. Exhale, you can kind of push the leg into the ground or pull the leg into your chest if you want to go deeper into the stretch. You're going to perform 3 inhales, 3 exhales on each side, okay? So you're going to feel that in the back hip rotators. If that is hurting the knee, I recommend posterior hip rock. Same thing, but you're going to step one leg back, turn one leg in, and you're just going to rock to the outside of that hip. Okay, so that's a little bit safer version as well. I'll give you an example on the other side. You're going to rock into that back outer hip. So that's the posterior hip rock. So that'll be your second stretch you'll perform. 3 inhales, 3 exhales. Next stretch will be the Inductor Rock. You're going to start with your knees spread apart. The knee that's on the pad will stay as is. The opposite leg will straighten out. You'll invert the leg or the foot, the ankle. You're going to rock back on your exhale. Inhale front, exhale back. Okay, making sure that you do this about 3 inhales, 3 exhales each side, starting out with a wide position, straightening the knee. If the knee doesn't straighten, you might have to do a standing version of this, a supported box. Okay, so that example would be, if this was a box, I would take my hand on my ribs, open up, rotate. You're gonna feel that stretching in the adductor and also the T-spine. So this is also another good stretch that we're gonna perform. All right, so V-stands, T-spine rotation. What we're just talking about, so grab some support, wide feet. From here, push the hand into the support, whether it's a yoga block or a 12-inch block, whatever you need. Hand across the ribs. Gonna rotate, you're gonna look up at the ceiling. Inhale, and then you're gonna exhale, deepen your rotation. Inhale, 360. Exhale, deepen the rotation. You'll switch side, touching and holding onto the opposite ribs. Rotate, look up at the ceiling. Inhale, 360. Piercing exhale. Okay, so that will be the T-spine, V-stance, wedge rotation. Okay, so if you have that wedge, you can do that on the wedge or a pad or a yoga block. Next is the Gastroc. So whether you have the wedge or a kneeling or a pad, we're just going to rock the front knee over the midfoot. Okay, now you can also grab a bench or do this while pressing into a wall in front of you. It'll look like this. Just gonna bring that knee over the toe, 5 rocks each side. You can pull and deepen yourself into that stretch when you exhale and try to pull the toe toward the shin, go deeper for more advanced stretching, okay? So that would be 5 rocks over the midfoot, and that would be your stretching series for day 1, okay? For your activation exercises for day 1, we're going to first start with an assisted leg lower. If you don't have a band, I'll give you an option without it. You can take a band, wrap around the midfoot, straighten your knee, lay on your back, with your head flat on the ground, and then you're going to hover the opposite leg off the ground. Inhale up, exhale on the way down, and again you're controlling your breathing, flat back, you're trying to match the ribs and pelvis. The ribs are going to go down on your exhale. inhale, expand, exhale, ribs down. So inhale, exhale, inhale. You can perform 8 on each side, okay? After that, you're gonna perform a hip lift. So in that 90-90 breathing position, we're going to start with our knee into our chest. We're gonna push our knee with our opposite hand. And as we do that, we're going to extend the opposite glute. So it's a one leg hip lift while we're pressing into the opposite knee. We're gonna hold 5 seconds. Inhale, expand. Exhale, ribs down. And then you'll switch and you'll perform 3 on each side. Remember when you're breathing, inhale, expand 360, exhale, ribs go down and in. So when you're doing those 10 breaths in the beginning, make sure you think about those ribs going down and in. Next is going to be standing ankle mobility. So same premise as the half kneeling, pushing into a wall, putting all the weight on the front foot, and just bringing that knee over the front foot and feeling a stretch in both ankles. You'll perform 10 rocks forward over the ankle on each side. After that, if you have a slider, that's great. Or if you can find some space where you can kind of slide your legs out, whether you're using a floor slide or a towel on your kitchen floor, that type of thing. What we're gonna do is slide the leg out, and as we slide the leg out, we're gonna have our front knee forward and the opposite arm forward, and then slide back in. 10 on each side, going out laterally and then back. Okay, so you don't need sliders, you can just slide on the ground, back 10, into the side 10 on each side. That's going to stimulate the knees and hips. After that, if you don't have a band, you'll just pretend that you have a band. So this will be a band series. Bands are pretty cheap. We're going to put it right below the knees, and we're going to perform a band series. So the knees will be out in an athletic position, hips back. One knee goes in and out, in and out, 5 on each side, and then you'll perform both at the same time for 10. Then we'll get on a line, our midfoot, and we're gonna go side to side while keeping tension in the band, okay? So keep the tension in the band, knees are out, side to side, about 6 steps each side, and then you can add in some squats. So squat with the knees out, arms up, and you can go for about 3 squats, okay? So that is our activation for day 1. After that, you'll go into your dynamic warm-up. Okay, you're gonna start with a bear crawl. You go forward and back. Think that you're a sneaky bear. Knees are off the ground 1 inch. Opposite arm, opposite leg. You'll take 6 to 8 steps forward and then 6 to 8 steps back while keeping that knee really close to the ground. So that's upper body and core dynamic work. Also your scapula and shoulder. After that, we'll go knee to chest. So not chest to knee to chest. We're gonna pull the knee, point the bottom toe, pull up, and exhale as we perform about 5 chest and knee to chest each side. You can do that while moving, or you can do that while just standing. Next, you're gonna perform heel to butt. So you're gonna bring your heel to your butt, and you can also add in forward lean. Heel to butt, forward lean. Now you can do that stepping forward or in place, 3 on each side. After that, you're going to skip. So first start with marching, hands to the face. Pretend that you're hammering something in the back of the wall, and then you're gonna skip in place. And then you can move forward 10 yards and back 10 yards, or you can do that in place. After your skip, you're going to perform a lateral skip. So same skip, but we're going to move laterally, and we're going to move to the left and right, 10 yards down, 10 yards back. After that, we're going to perform a shuffle. We're going to get low. So if I'm going like this, trying to get underneath, side, side, okay? 10 yards down, 10 yards back. After that, you'll do karaoke. So the crossover, cross behind. Cross over, cross behind. 10 yards down, 10 yards back. After that, you're going to perform a back pedal. So just 5 yards, nice little back pedal shuffle. You go for 3 rounds. Make sure nothing's behind you, and make sure you start with walking backwards first. Next, we'll move into our power. So we finished our warm-up exercises. Now we're going into our power exercises, which will lead into our strength. Okay, so the first exercise is a jump squat, or you can just perform a squat. If you are going to squat, find a 12-inch or 18-inch box to sit on and stand up. If not, you'll perform 5 jump squats. Jump squats are going to look like a vertical jump. Bring your arms over your head, follow your arms with your body, and jump up toward the sky. You'll squat back down, jump up, and you'll go for 5. I'll give you an example. My knees will stay out on the way down and on the way up. Okay, so that will be your jump squat. You'll perform 5 jump squats. After that, you're going to perform 8 push-ups. For the push-ups, you can use a yoga block or a mat to keep you consistent. Place it right underneath your sternum, in between your chest, and then from here, create a plank, a push-up plank. Pretend you're getting projected out of a cannon, and you're standing up. You're going to take an inhale, lower, and an exhale on the way up. Okay, 8 of those, and then you'll perform a hop. Okay, so you're going to hop forward over 3 lines to start. Okay, if you can't hop, or if you don't want to hop yet, you can just perform a double leg jump. Okay, jumping over a line, nothing, no objects yet. 1, 2, 3, and we're just going forward jumps. Okay, and then next day we'll work on lateral hops. I meant hops, not jumps. Now, that's what you're going to perform for power. You're going to do that 2 more times. Okay, so you'll perform the jump squat, then you're going to perform the push-up, and then 3 hops forward, and you'll do that 3 times. If this is the first time you've done it, maybe just do 2 times, okay? After power, so we've completed power, now we're going into our strength. We're gonna start with a front squat or a goblet squat, okay? So take any weight in the house, a book bag, sandbag, a weight, and you're gonna put it in a goblet position and keep it nice and close. The elbows will touch the inside of the knees, and then you'll stand back up. So if you have a 12-inch box, which would be perfect, what we're going to do is hold on to the object, tap, and back up. Tap, and back up. Tap, and back up. Back is straight. Okay? Your back should be kind of parallel with your femurs on the way down. All right, so you'll perform 6 squats. Then you're going to perform an inline lift. So taking any weight, such as a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you're getting a half kneeling position. Okay, and then from here, we're going to bring our arm across, we're going to pull into our chest and reach over our shoulder, pull into our chest, reach to over our shoulder, okay? So this is going to be the half kneeling lift. Take any weight, pull in, reach across. Pull in, reach across, okay? So it's a diagonal pattern, uplift, with either a kettlebell or a dumbbell, okay? Or you can just take a book bag with some books in it and do the same thing, okay? After that, you're gonna do a bear plank shoulder tap. You get in the bear plank position, hands and knees off the ground an inch. And you're gonna go for 6 shoulder taps on each side, okay? One, while maintaining neutral hips. So not going like this, because that's a lot easier. You can do that all day. Okay, so 6 on each side. Okay, so that's your first pod or your first tricep. That's 3 exercises. You have your front squat, hopefully on a 12-inch box so you know where you're touching, coming back up. Half kneeling inline lift. Pull in, reach up and across, back down, pull in, reach across, look at the kettlebell. Upper body moves, lower body stays still. Okay, then you're gonna go with your plank, bear plank shoulder taps. Okay, 6 on each side for that. Also for the inline lift, just 5 on each side. That's your first tricep, okay? And you'll perform that 2 to 3 sets on your first week, probably 2 sets. Now, you're gonna perform a push-up, a foot elevated hip lift, and a plank circuit, okay? So, if you don't have anything to put your foot on top of, like a 6-inch box, you can use some books. So, you can stack some books. What we're gonna do first is our push-up. Actually, we're gonna start with our hip lift. We'll start with our lower body, sorry. Then we're gonna go into our plank circuit, and then we're gonna move into our push-up. So we'll start with the hip lift, foot elevated. So go onto a 6-inch elevated or some books. We're going to bring those toes toward the sky. And then we're going to bring one knee into the chest, and we're going to press the heel and squeeze the glute and hold for about 3 seconds, and then come back down, and we'll perform 5 reps on each side, hold, and then back down. So that's your foot elevated hip lift. After the hip lift, you go to your push-up, your plank circuit. It's going to be a side plank to start. You can do a short lever side plank with your knees on the ground, or you can straighten your knees and lift the hips up off the ground, away from the ground, and hold here, trying to maintain a straight spine like you're standing. You go to side for 5 inhales, 5 exhales, then front plank, same premise here, palms face down, like you're standing up, toes are pointed into the ground, 5 inhales, 5 exhales, and then you'll switch side plank, same thing on the other side, 5 inhales, 5 exhales. So you go side plank, side plank. The next one is going to be your push-up, which is basically another moving plank. So it's going to be a lot of core for these last 2. In your push-up position with a yoga block, so you know where you're going, touch it to your sternum, and push back up. We don't want our hands out wide. We don't want our hands that in. We want to make an arrow with our elbows. So not T, okay, not an I, more like an arrow, okay? So not out like this, more like this, and not in all the way, okay? So you'll perform 6 to 8 push-ups there. Again, you'll start with your foot elevated hip lift. Okay, you go to your front side plank circuit, 5 inhales, 5 exhales, and then you go to your push-up for 6 to 8 reps, okay? That's your tricep number 2, so that's your pod number 2. Pod number 3 is going to be a dumbbell row and a single leg deadlift. So you need something to row here. So either backpack or anything that's heavy, a dumbbell, and you're gonna find an 18-inch box or frame to be able to hold on to. You want really wide legs, straight back, and you want to hold whatever the object is to your ribs, slow descent, pull, nice and slow descent, pull. I'm looking for protraction and retraction of that scapula. Okay, so either a dumbbell or a kettlebell or any type of weight, and you're gonna go for 8 reps. Okay, after your dumbbell row, you're gonna perform a single leg deadlift or a single leg reach. You're gonna put your foot on, just standing on one foot. We're gonna reach forward, extend the back leg, and then stand back up. Now, what I like is usually putting a marker or stretch in front of me and getting as long as possible, making sure that back hip doesn't open up. Keep the back hip down, and then stand back up. Reach and touch, stand back up. Same thing, other side, single leg reach, okay? We'll perform 6 on each side. So that's 6 to 8 dumbbell rows with a dumbbell kettle or a book bag, and then single leg reach, 6 on each side. And that's your full workout. After you're done with your workout, if you have a bike, you'll perform 5 calories on the minute. So try to get 5 calories on your bike, or burn 5 calories anyway as quick as possible, whether it's battle rope, whether it's an incline treadmill, or if it's a assault bike that I have, okay? So you want to burn 5 calories and then rest for the remainder of the minute. So burn 5 calories in 30 seconds, or do something high intensity for 30 seconds, and then rest for the remainder 30 seconds. And you're gonna perform that 8 rounds, okay? If it's your first time doing this, maybe 4 rounds of something high intensity, and resting for 30 to 60 seconds, or trying to rest here to about a beat of 120 beats, okay? So that's day 1 full workout, okay? So we've gone over the foam rolling. Every day you'll do the same foam rolling routine. Day 2, we went over the stretches, the activation dynamic warm-up. We also went through the 3 different pods of exercises, okay? I'm gonna release the next exercise video and another future video, so make sure you've done this one. After you've completed this one, make sure that you write in the comments that you've completed this one and that you're ready for lesson number 2. If you're not ready for lesson number 2, I won't release it, so make sure you perform this one first. This is day 1 workout. Remember, you can change the sets and reps if you need. If you feel like it's too many reps, move to 5 reps or 3 reps. If you can't get more than 3 reps, it's probably too hard, okay? So keep that in mind. And then also, for the first week, think 2 sets for each of those trisets. If you want to do 3 sets, you can if you have the energy, but if you feel like you're new at this, I would just do 2 sets. And then the following week, you can do 3 sets and maybe a little bit higher reps. Okay, so if you got 3 reps, go for 5. If you got 5 reps, go for 8. And then you're gonna stay, and then you're gonna consistently go up 2 reps on each exercise. Okay, so that's day 1 functional training workout with your stretching, your dynamic warm-up, and also your conditioning after. So ask any questions in the comments. If you are online right now and you want to check this out on my YouTube, go ahead and look up Jordan Weber Training. It is live right now, and this video will be up shortly. All right, take it easy.